Hey, welcome back to the channel. I was kind of in the mood to look at some canoes. Can you canoe? So, this isn't really going to be a deep dive. I just felt like bringing these guys out, looking at them. Got some interesting representations of the pattern. So, I have all the sizes and some variations in blades and bolsters that are peculiar. So it'll be a interesting video to watch. And I'll just like I said, I'm not going to take a deep dive on this. Maybe just share with you how I came about to have some of these knives. That might be a little interesting, along with a little explanation of what the knives are. That's my explanation symbol right there. Alrighty, we'll see you in the video. All right, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Like I said, I just thought I'd bring these guys out. Haven't seen them in a while. Clean them up a little bit, put them in a video, talk about them a little bit. Don't really have an agenda. I did get a package in. We see a package here. And that package is the traveling knives that Tobias Gibson sent out. Thank you, Tobias. And just got them from Byron of Splitting Slices. So he's got some videos out there. If you haven't seen them on these knives, not these knives, the ones in the package. And probably next week, I've got another package coming. So next week I'll probably get them all together and do a video on them. So yeah, let's talk about these knives. So this is the Canoe pattern. This is your typical canoe right here. The case, I think, what is that, 130, 131? What is that case pattern? 131. Okay. That's your typical canoe. Has these copperhead bolsters on both ends, and so kind of looks like a canoe. That's why we call them that. And this is one of my favorite knives, not just my favorite canoe, but just a beautiful red bone here, kind of worn right there, giving it a little character accent, and just really nice. No etch on this though, which is kind of unusual. A lot of canoes do have an etch, and a couple of these do have etches. One of them's weird though. I'll show it to you when I get to it, but it's kind of a, maybe it's this one. I don't know. Weird kind of etch to find on a canoe. But these were, just standard. They're produced off the standard cattle die, 3 5/8 equal end. And if you put these up side by side or over to over, they're the same height as the cattle die. It's just that these copperhead bolsters are oversized and make it look bigger than it is. And I'll show you this. It's about the same size. This is a pattern 18, 3 5/8, and that's same size as your pattern 18 most canoes. And this is a standard size for a canoe, but like with many popular knives, it comes in different sizes. So you got an extra large here. They called these gunboats. Look at the Cabernet color on this. Isn't that gorgeous? Some nice feathering. This is a knife that's been used. A little darker on the other side from hand oils. Got 2 blades. A gunboat. This is the case gunboat. It has some really fantastic etching. This is a Monitor and Merrimack. So this was 96. Probably celebrating the fact that they had found the wreckage of these, and that's probably what this knife was made for, or why. But big knife, 4¼ inches. This knife is not the biggest. The case 91 pattern is 4½ inches, but really big for a canoe. And then you get a little tiny one. They call these butter beans. I just ordered my first case butter bean. Boy, I let that out of the bag, didn't I? I wasn't going to say anything until I got it. So that thing's in the mail and it's coming. I just haven't got it yet. But these are the little tiny ones. So this one has kind of like a autumn bone look to it, a brown and orange. This is genuine bone, but it has a mother of pearl shield in the center. You know, I'm not exactly ecstatic about that. It just kind of like mother of pearl in rugged stag just doesn't seem to fit. But this is an A.G. Russell, and the reason I got this is it's this model here called the War Eagle Blades Web. And A.G. Russell produces some good knives. A lot of them are fairly pricey. And so A.G. Russell started producing knives in China. And those knives were the War Eagle blade brand. But he wanted to make a kind of a less expensive fun knife for people to have. And I ordered this just to see, you know, what the quality would be, because just because it comes from China doesn't mean it's going to be high quality. Some of them are fantastic, but some of them aren't. And this is a really nice knife, good action, well made, nice stag. I wish they would have gone with no shield, but you know, it is what it is. Anyhow, that's why I got that one right there. So yeah, let's just look at a few of these. Let's see, this is a Parker. Is it a Parker Frost or just a Jim Parker? It's a Parker Frost. So you got a good date on these. They were partners between 76 and 78. That would be the date of this knife. I don't think anybody else does Appaloosa bone like Parker did. It just looks the way it's supposed to look. Kind of wore off there, but just I've got some really beautiful Appaloosa bone from Parker. And this is a Canoe, and this is what I'm talking about. A lot of them had these etches. It's kind of different though if you look at this and you look at you know, this Canoe, different bolsters. So it's got an unusual kind of polygonal bolster on it. So besides being pretty, it's just a little different, and that's why I bought this one. And this is a really cool looking one. Look at the coloring on this. See if you can guess what brand this is. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Man, look at that. Has I don't know whether you're picking it up, but has every little one of these has little reflective parts in it. I'm not sure whether that's coming through, but it's a beautiful knife. I found this in Tennessee. Yeah, I was in a pawn shop, and not a pawn shop, antique place in Tennessee, and got this for a really good deal. And it's a Bulldog brand. Reversed etch there. Got the date on there is 1998, and a really nice knife. Nice smooth action, German made, and 3 blade probably picking up on that. There's that 1998. Probably picking up on the German aspect of it. Every blade is marked. So it has 3 blades, and that's a little different than the regular canoe, which has 2. So I used to think that these were just 3-bladed canoes, and I was kind of tickled to get them. They're pretty cool. But I was doing research on cattle knives and realized that these are cattle knives. So this is a canoe cattle knife. What makes it a cattle knife is it has a farm implement, a special purpose blade for a farm. And in this case, it's a spade blade. But if it had a punch or a sheep's foot blade, if it just has a pin blade and a like a coping blade, like this one has a coping blade on it, it would just be a 3-bladed canoe. But when you have a spade blade or a farm implement on it, they actually made canoe cattle knives. So about 90% of your cattle knives are these guys right here, equal end, 3 5/8. But there's about 5 different patterns they put cattle knives into, and so yeah, that's kind of interesting. Here's a 2-bladed one, and it looks a little different. Has a little hump in the middle. So these swell center canoes we call kayaks, and I'm not sure why we call them kayaks, but around the time that the canoe came out, pre-1940, there was a 2-bladed knife that was produced, and it was a jack, and so it looked like a canoe. It had a swell center like this. The body looked just like this knife, but both blades were at one end, and it was a jack. And they called those surveyor jacks, is what Western called theirs, Western Knife Company. And that's what collectors call those jacks. This is not a jack, it's an opposite end knife. Too big to be a pen knife, so it's an opposite end jack. And, that's what a canoe is. But this has some radically different blades. And these are lamb's foot blades. So it kind of looks a little different because it's got swedging on it, but it's a lamb's foot blade. And there's a little belly here. Lamb's foot is usually just a straight edge. So a little different. Some artistic interpretation on this. Beautiful burl. And that's why I bought this. Smoky Mountain Knife Works. This is a Rough Rider Reserve. And I just love that burl there. Pretty. Like it in green too. Didn't talk about this. This is a Parker Frost knife. And that's why I bought it, because it's Parker Frost. I was trying to get hold of some Parker Frost. I think this was the first Parker Frost knife that I bought. And you can see it's in stag. It's a really nice knife. You see right there. I think this is made in Japan. I'm not sure. Oh, this is a Wostenholm. Yeah, there it is. Rogers Wostenholm, England. And so not only is it collectible because it's in stag, and collectible because it's a Parker Frost. So these are in pretty big demand with people that collect either Frost or Parker, because there really relatively not too many Parker Frost knives because they were only partners 2 years. But also, this was when Wostenholm was bought out by Rogers Group, and that's a tank stamp. They'll say Rogers Wostenholm. They were bought out in 1971. And this is another 3-bladed canoe. And beautiful. This is an NKCA. Beautiful green bone there. Heavy jigged. You can see most of the etching has worn off, but you can still see a little bit of the NKCA, 1 of 6,000. And this is another Rogers Wostenholm. Now this knife I bought because I have a small Wostenholm collection, a sub collection, and I was trying to get the Wostenholms from different periods. And this is that period when they were bought out between 1971 and 1977. And so I wanted to get a knife from that period. This, I was trying to get a Parker knife and Parker Frost knife, and it ended up being a Wostenholm Rogers. So I bought this one first, and that's what I was trying to do. Really nicely made, as you'd expect out of a Sheffield knife. Really good action on this. Really nice pin blade. Good walk and talk. It's not it's strong, but it's not overbearing like a lot of English knives are. It's a pretty good action on there, maybe a 7. So this one is just a regular canoe, really pretty, no shield, and really nice stag on there. See that? Nice coloring, just a little dab of orange in there, here and there. Nice browns, nice popcorn stag on there. And this is a Schrade Wostenholm knife. So this is when Schrade bought Wostenholm. And that's the reason why I got this knife. I got this in a pawn shop. Really good price. You might not think so, but I paid $60 for this. But these things go for $100 or better. And if you can get it under, $100, you're doing good. And I was trying to get it cheaper, and that guy, he just would not go down. I was trying to get it for 40. He's like, no, I can't do it. So I said, okay, I'll give you 60 for it. Let's see, we already did my case. This was from a gun and knife show in Tennessee. And I got a few good knives at that knife show. This wouldn't be one of the ones I thought was a good knife, but I was trying to get this for $5, and I ended up paying 15. Was the lowest I could get the guy. And this is the one I was telling you about that's kind of weird. So it has an etching, but instead of saying canoe, like a lot of them do, it says kayak. And of course, that's not a kayak. We call these kayaks with the swell center on it. So that's kind of weird. It's got those little sparkly things. I don't know. I procrastinated about this knife. I looked at it and then we walked around and bought a couple other knives and came back, and I figured, yeah, it's a Parker knife. I collect Parkers. If I can get it for a good price, I'll get it, just because it's a little different. But you got brass with that gold glitter, and this is well done though. But I appreciate bling, but I'm not really a bling guy. So it's okay, but it's not something I'd really carry. And this, I believe, is a Queen canoe. Queen City. So I bought this after watching Baxter's Blades. He does that to me a lot. He'll be showing knives and I'll end up going and buying one. and he was showing these, and I was like, oh, I gotta get me one. So I went right out and bought one. 16 bucks. Great price. This is nothing wrong with this at all. And this is a Chinese made. So this is not the American made Queen City. It is China. China. How Trump says that. China. Oh, nice pin blade on it. Not the best abalone, but not the worst. And it is genuine abalone, and it is pretty. So, for 16 bucks, I'll take it. And then this one, I think this is also a queen. Yeah, they're both queens. This is black lip mother of pearl. Now, this is not the best example. You see some nice blues here, but mother of pearls, black lip mother of pearls, generally like this dark color here, and when it hits the light, it lights up. You see that a little better over here. That's usually what black lip mother of pearl is all the way across. So this is not the best example of black lip mother of pearl, but it's still a pretty knife. Like the other one, it's well made, good action, and I think I got this the same time I got this one. Pretty sure. Or I may have went back and decided I wanted to get a black lip one too. I can't exactly remember. And then this gunboat, this is one of my, the last purchase I made was this one right here. But earlier I got this in a knife trade. And appreciate that, Mike. I still appreciate that. And yeah, we did a knife trade, and I got this crazy cool case. This is one of those cases they make them. So they've made these gunboats after 2000, but you just don't see very many of them. They didn't make many of them. And this is pre-2000, 1996, but just that beautiful Cabernet is awesome on it. Really cool knife. And I don't know that I would have 5 of these, but one gunboat to show the difference in your patterns, in your canoe patterns. Just like, I don't know that I'd have 5 of these, but one baby butter bean to show the differences and to have an example of the different patterns within a pattern. If I'm making any sense at all, or I'm probably not making any sense. That's what my wife says. You're not making any sense. Yeah, about that. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. I don't want to ramble for too long. I'm having some fun, just talking more than I should. I hope you enjoyed a look at these knives and find out a little bit about how I picked them up and things like that. War stories. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Be looking for this. It's gonna be fun. Bunch of knives. We're gonna show them, and we'll see you in the next video.